Okay, here we go. Good afternoon, all. ODWO YouTube channel. This is DO. Happy Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. Well, today's kind of an interesting day, and I say that interesting usually not being a good thing, but somehow I come out ahead on these things. We had a little power outage, and I'm amazed at how far I got in the hole so quick and then got out of it. But, whew. Okay, go ahead and start off here. This is my watch list in the morning. I have some levels here, even though there's no cutesy pootsy lines around here. I have some. This right here is the SPY and the Q, which I use to follow the other ones. By all appearances, you'd say futures were going up. This right here is nothing but a pin cushion, and then quick drop and all the way back up. But you look at Square, Netflix, Roku, Nvidia, Zoom. I mean, those are kind of berserk days, but they're all going down where everything else is kind of going up. And this is where Tesla doesn't really follow the norm. They have their own little world, but that's probably because they are an expensive one. I don't really play Amazon. I have a couple of times. I actually made a few bucks, but phew. There's got to be something else besides those to play. I'm sure when they're good, they're great, but for right now, okay, Tesla. Kind of a bizarre morning. Up and way down, kind of a U-loop. Like a Coriolis meter. The oil and gas industry. Right here, well, heck, why don't I just bring this over? Okay. Right here, the day started, everything was good. Came down, I thought, okay, which way are we going to go? I had my levels. Here's a pre-market high. Here's the 20 moving average. Here's the 9 exponential moving average, and these are actually a bit lower in the day, right down about here as the day started. In fact, they're almost on top of each other, and then they split as the time went. So it comes up here, and then it does here, and I'm in right away. I said, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. So I go in 4 contracts, all of them 1080s, calls for a Tesla. Okay, right about here it starts pulling back on me. Okay, I'm about ready to get out. Boom, our power blips. Didn't turn the computer off, but it made it restart itself. So I'm sitting here waiting for everything to go, blah, 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 coming down here, and all of a sudden, anyway, this is a few minutes later, I get up to here, it gets up here and it starts to go up, and of course I'm doing market order, and I got kind of a bad fill here, and also, right here, and on this one right here. Unfortunately, my video was gone, so I had nothing I could show you here. Thank God in a way, because this was a mess. Anyway, I'm finally getting in, and down, down, down. I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? So finally it starts dropping here. Once it got below here, all I could do was say, God, what do I need to do? And he said, get out. So I got out. Right now I'm down a little over $4,000, 8 contracts. The reason for the buy is because I thought, well, I'm going to make a good thing happen. Again, these moving averages were here, and I said, well, I can hold a little bit, but once it broke down here, yeah, $4,000, 8 contracts, that's not a good thing. Well, anyway, then I look over here, and I'm starting to see what could be. Once it starts coming up above this, I made another little losing trade, another 4 and a 4, and it just, actually, no, that was at 840, 845 and 847. Well, here's 845 where I bought and came here, and it came back on me, and then I just got out. It was a very small loss, but it was on top of everything else. So here's 847. I'm going to show you all the things I'm looking at once I get through this. 847 came up, 848. Actually, I finally sold it at here, and it was a very small win. From here, I waited at 849. Right here. Right now, I'm kind of panicking. I'm kind of like, wow, $4,000. This is where I'm not sure I could have kept the rules. Here, I could have did a little better by getting out a little sooner than down here, which is another 2 full points. Anyway, I'm going to move this back over. In my watch list, this is the things that I had up looking at right here. So next, come on guys, this was my thumbnail that I made for the day. Tesla plus $761 the hard way, and let me tell you, I hope I never have to do it that way again. I'd rather take $1,000 loss than have to look at that. Plus, after the video, I'm going to give a few thoughts and find out some possible scalp setups based on charts. Got to get some kind of positive out of this. But here's my trades, and right about here is when I started coming back. Here I bought and I sold. It was a very small win. And then from here I bought 4, bought 2, bought another 2. Then I started selling as it went up, and then I just held. You can compare to your own chart in a 1 minute. But this is what I have, $671, and mind you, I was down a lot of money. Okay, that's about it. And again, like I said, I wish I had a video to go with this, because all I could say is you go, my God, why'd you get into that? Well, I can tell you, I didn't ask for the power to drop, and when it came back on, I was trying to make something good out of it. What I should have thought is that, maybe there's something wrong with our connection. Also, after contacting Xfinity, and I know this is more than anybody really cares to hear on a trading video, but they said, oh, in a couple of days we're going to have somebody out there and fix the continuity of everything and make it all right, because we've had some complaints about speeds. And mind you, we have the second fastest speed Xfinity offers, which is plenty fast for running anything and everything in this house. Okay, this is kind of my thumbnail for this video. Now I'm going to go into some possible setups for finding stuff, which is actually how I found Square yesterday, and even looking at today. Sure wasn't expecting the power like it was. But if you look here, just have a quick rundown of this. I bought 4, 1647. I bought another 2 4 minutes later as it's moving up, instead of making the mistake of, hey, wow, I get in some more too soon and then it goes against me, and then suddenly I'm down 6, not 4. I'm just being real careful. Next, I bought another 2. A few minutes later, price is going up. My average is somewhere in between here and here, so I'm looking good so far. So now I'm starting to sell some. I think my average, if I remember right, was like 16.95, something like that. But anyway, it's 16.95. So I start selling 2 at 18, 1 at 22, 1 23, 2 at 24, and then of course the rest there. It gets me on the day, and this really just gets to me, is that 1080 calls at the high of the day. The high of the day, let me pull that over here again. From down here to right here, it was in the 40s. Now, imagine if my power would have went out. This is not a good way to look at it, but the power would have went out at, and I'm averaged at, God, what am I averaged at? Earlier, it was in the 14s and 14s, yes. And all of a sudden, I'm at 40 when the power comes back on. Or I have to wait 3 hours with Interactive Brokers and then say, okay, sell. I'm good. But anyway, today's a funny day, and I say that, ha ha ha, but not necessarily in a good way. This is not how I like to trade. Okay. Some setups. How to look. As you can see, there's not a whole lot. Any questions, please ask me what I did, how I did, what I was thinking. I can tell you I was thinking fast, and I'm glad it worked out the way it did. But the big thing was I had to wait for the setup to come to me. Once I broke the moving averages where they were at that time, the 20 and the 9, then I figured, okay, there's some possibility of going up. I'm down over $4,000. I need a miracle, and thank God for miracles. So now for some setups on how that worked. If I can find what I'm looking for, let's just say an example square yesterday. Yesterday, I was trying to go to the, now mind you, this is set for today. These moving averages were lower. There's a pre-market high on that day right here, yesterday, Tuesday. I was shooting for the moving average. Today, if that stuff wouldn't have happened like it did, I would have probably been right back over here. It opened here, it went down, hit the pre-market low. And then I had pre-market high. Actually, I take that back. This pre-market high was yesterday. Once it broke through that, I would have been looking. But the big thing is looking for moving averages. Something like this. Tomorrow, there's a possibility. I mean, look at this level, a 9 MA, and this is going to change overnight just a little bit. But you have all this air in there. Whatever the pre-market low and the pre-market high will be, there's a 200 moving average. And if you look at this, just say from the high a day, which is 238, this is 243. That's 5 points. That's a possible catch if you can get that. If it goes down, it may bounce off this. But if it goes further, I'd be looking for a little bit more clarity. If this has a really good day, like this is not a bad day, really, if you look at it. And then over here, if it comes up, it may even get stronger yet and go all the way to the 20 MA. And that's a nice level right there. And there's also the 50 MA right there. Very close. You figure if this thing opens up, say at 240 or down here at say 238, say it fills a gap or whatever it does, well then you got another 8 points up. And 8 points is good money if you ask me for scalping. I'm not talking about position trading where you want it to go up to say the high of here or up here. No, I'm just saying we're scalpers, right? The people who are actually watching this. Others may be curious, but hey, there's a lot of ways. Okay, that is square. Next, I'm going to pull up Zoom. Yesterday, I didn't play Zoom because I didn't really know what to think about it. There's not a whole lot there, but when you look at it, the ranges. Yesterday, opened here, went down, bounced the 9 EMA, which was probably a little lower than this. Originally, or maybe not, but I'd have to go back and look at that. Some videos, but anyway, it came up, went all the way up here, went to this is the Tuesday high. I put that in there. On this, if I'm right, the 20 may have been right down here and then moved up overnight. But you see how this works. You have a good trade in between moving averages. If this right here, this setup, the 50 and the 20 were down here, I'd have to wait till it broke out of here, and I mean solidly, because if not, it's going to pull back in, depending on the pre-market high and low and half-back levels. And I know everybody who knows me know I talk about half-back. There's something to that. Now, I don't have my half-backs drawn in here because I didn't trade it. Actually, I did draw on the Tuesday, but I did that today just to show. Notice what today did. Wednesday's high is right here. I definitely drew that in after market close. But right about the Tuesday half back and then retraced. Not much of a day today in Zoom, so it's not the best day, but you figure what, 261 and a half up to 264. That's still 3 points. Now just look at a 1 minute, 2 minute, or 5 minute, whatever your charts are. Figure it out. There's money to be made between moving averages. And when they break down below or when they cross, there's like look up here in a cross, you're playing momentum or trend then, but right here you're playing range from here to here, and those are nice. Now let's look at the last one, which is Tesla. I don't have yesterday's, but here's today's candle. Opened here, it went down, it actually filled Tuesday's close, and I want to say that there's a guy named Jim Dalton, he's probably the best mentor I've ever had. He said if it gets within a point of that gap, and he even says to the tail, consider the big guys, the institutions, the banks, the institutional investors, they consider that tail. Whenever it comes down to right here, that's actually a gap fill. It's the other traders, the ones who aren't them, the ones who day trade for a living, the guy in his corner or a few people in a trading room. That's the ones who are driving it down. But either way, it comes down. This might be considered a gap fill. I bet it doesn't come back anytime soon. Notice right here to right here. That's considered a gap fill. And I never thought that. I thought it had to go, from like the close. This here would have had to come up and be a green candle to catch that and then come back down. But no, I'm learning that lesson. Today, these are a little bit lower, a little closer together. But it came up. Looking at the chart, this is 1070. No real level or reason to stop or hesitate there, but it just kind of kept methodically going. Then there's the pre-market high for this day. That's at 1079. There was a little bit of a pullback there on the 1 minute, but other than that, then it goes up, and once it broke this half back and this huge candle, which was 160 points on the day, that's a huge day for Tesla. So this is 80 points right smack in the middle from here to wherever the bottom and the top end, and it kept going. One thing I've been looking at trying to figure out, it went all the way to about 120, and I don't know why. I don't see any real level anything unless there's a 30-minute candle on this day that had a huge stop and it went through it a whole bunch. That would probably be a market profile chart, but that's for another day. Most people are candle chart players. Market profile is a big thing, but I consider that more. You can day trade it with it, but a lot of position traders use that too. This thing even went through a strong reference point, 1100. Just amazing stuff. I've had a lot of mentors along the way. Way back when, in the late 90s, when I first got into trading, a guy named J.U., I think it's like Jeayu. I've seen it, and he used to run Underground Trader, a very popular trading group at that time, a trading room. You paid money, and in there was a guy named Robert A. Lockhart, and they called him RAL, R-A-L, and he was the one who talked about Elliott Wave, Fibonacci, and those were great. They were great then. Those things still actually work today. I like to keep it simple as possible. I'm not going to put, a stochastic here, RSI in here, and let's see, an Elliott Wave over here and another thing, and then, and divergence. Well, divergence, there's something to divergence, but I've looked at some other people's charts lately who talked about divergence, and what's funny is, why did they choose the divergence there? Because I saw it at other places too, besides there, only even opposing. So, again, whatever floats your boat. I like to keep it simple. Some other mentors, Jim Dalton, my God, great. Also recently, whenever COVID came and I got let go at the job I had, a designer in the oil and gas industry, we built gas plants, big ones too, all around the world. That got me looking into possibly, actually before I got laid off, I could kind of see it, the writing on the wall, plus my age, which is in the mid-60s, I'll say. I am now qualified for Medicare. When you see things happening in your life, take your life into your own hands and make something of nothing. And that's kind of what I did. I had already traded anyway. 2002 to 2006, almost a little into 2007. I traded full time. Traded my own. I can't get my words out. Traded my own account. Actually, my father and I went it together, but that's a whole nother story. But we traded. We made a lot of money back then. We did it with just futures and stocks. I never even heard of options. Then, when I knew I was about to get laid off, I said, okay, I'm going to learn a lot more about options. I had dabbled in them a little bit, like in, oh gosh, 2015, 2016, I think it was. But then I got real serious, and I took a market profile primer from Jim Dalton. Great class. It'll definitely, you can see a lot of free YouTube videos about that as well. But I also joined the Green Room, which is a group called Master Trader, mastertrader.com. Dan Gibby and, oh gosh, I can't believe he'd be so mad because I can't remember his name. He's the founder of the room. He used to be one of the founders of pristine.com. Anyway, that's gonna drive me nuts. But anyway, Dan Gibby is their options specialist, and he's the one who got me into credit spreads and just more aware of options. And then whenever I got the market profile classes with Jim Dalton, everything worked better. One of these days, I'm going to profile these guys and put them on a video because they all have something good. The Master Trader guys, they got me to keep things simple. You know, you have all these different indicators and this and that. All you need is moving averages and look to the left. What's going on? What's your levels? And all these little lines I have here, that has to do with market profile and what I got from some of their videos. And again, there's some free videos. You just have to. Jim Dalton knows what he's doing, and he's been in this industry for a long time, and he's made a ton of money using just market profile. He doesn't even use a candle chart. If he does, it's just for reference. And he doesn't use candles. He uses bars. Man, there is so much to learn out there if you're just starting out, but don't give up. Keep learning. Don't think, oh, hey, I know part of what to do here, and then go do it. No, you're just going to lose money. You need to test it. You need to trade it with real money, just no size. Why give you money? Like I always say, I'm not in a hurry to lose my money. Today, well, that's another story that's a nightmare for later. Anyway, I am up $651 the hard way. And trust me, you don't want to have to go through that. And I was even thinking, what if I got a battery backup? Well, it knocked out the modem too. And this modem here, it takes 3-4 minutes just to boot back up. I don't know why. Maybe I need to upgrade it. This is Xfinity. We pay way too much. You know, all these channels. Now I'm getting off topic, but all those channels, and the only thing I really watch is sports, very little news unless it's Fox. Of course, that says a lot about my political backing. And what else? Oh, yeah. We watch DVDs, or we watch movies because of Amazon Prime. I'm sure Roku, if I look into that, it's going to be a lot cheaper. Anyway, I think that's about all I have here. I mean, 671. What I do with other people, and there's another guy named Matt Diamond. I'm going to call him out there. And Matt, I'm going to tell you I called you out by giving you a private message on your Twitter account. I know a lot about trading. I know a lot about charts. I can read charts as good as just about anybody. Trends, anything, it's so easy. You know, what gets me about it is people always ask, well, Dean, which way do you think it's going or what's going to do? It's like, I can tell you what I think, but I'm not saying that's what you need to do because I'm right most of the time, but I'm wrong, and it just happens to be when I'm telling somebody what they need to do. It's better to learn. If you have questions about something, I can tell you the mechanics. Otherwise, you know, I've been doing this way too long, well over 20 years. Well, not well over, but over 20 years. And the way to learn how to trade is start at the bottom. Keep looking for home runs. Believe me, you're going to get struck out more than you ever hit a home run. In fact, you're going to get struck out so much. Whenever you make that home run, you got a long way to go just to make that money back. So why do it that way? And mind you, I'm not selling anything. I'm just talking here. I'm a guy who, most of these videos I make are for me because I go back and I look at them. In fact, if there's 10 views, probably 3 of them are mine over a course of weeks, just because I go back and look at something or something made me think, well, what happened when this happened? Well, anyway, having said all that, it's Wednesday evening. Hope you have a good evening planned. So, having heard all that, hope you all have a good evening. I think I can't say that enough because I'm going to. God. And see you tomorrow or the next time. I don't always make videos. Today, I really wish I had this video because it would have been a sad song story that came out. I feel like Cinderella, you know, or what is it, Sleeping Beauty, or no, it's got to be Cinderella. Somehow I came out of it from being the poor one, down so far as I was. But anyway, have a good evening one last time. See you next time.